The following is a presentation of iRacing.com motorsport simulations on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
Live tonight from the Iowa Speedway, the 2016-2017 Upstate Racing League Les Enterprises MP Roy Pro Late Model Series gets underway for the first of a 16-race chase for the championship, and it all starts next right here on LSRTV and iRacing Live as we get set from Newton, Iowa for the Les Enterprises MP Roy Incorporated 100. Good evening, sim racing fans, and happy to be back with you for another season of Upstate Racing on LSRTV. Myself, Evan Pisoko, going to be topside with you tonight alongside Austin Coop, the lovely and talented Cisco Scaramuza downstairs, pushing the buttons and getting us to you here this evening. It's one of the bigger tracks that we will see, Austin, on this campaign as we get things kicked off tonight from the Iowa Speedway. This 7/8 of a mile track to play host to our 100 laps of competition here tonight. It is a stacked field just as we always see when Upstate Racing League season rolls around here on LSRTV. Top to bottom, qualifying is just wrapped up. This is one of the races in which the field limit not going to be enforced. You'll see a maximum of 25 cars at all of the races, but it's wide open tonight. That number closer to 30 as we look for the first green flag on the year.
Yeah, about 26 cars have taken qualifying, and it looks like 2 will take provisionals and start at the tail end of the field. But a massive field, a big track to race on. You got 3 grooves, possibly 4 if you want to manage that. But a really big track for these guys, and these late models, they're really made for the short tracks. But when they come to these big ovals, they can really put on a show because these tires are so slick and they can go all over the place on the track. It's gonna be really fun to watch these guys, especially at a turn 4. It doesn't matter what car you drive at Iowa Speedway. Turn 4, you'll always see guys getting in the wall outside of it. You'll probably see marks already there from previous races. And I mean, these cars themselves, they're really nose heavy and they really dig down into the pavement. And you might even see a little bit of sparks coming out from under these cars. But yeah, these cars, they don't have as much horsepower as the super late model by far in the sim. And that's what's going to make it exciting, is that these guys are going to stay bunched up a lot longer than the supers.
Something also that's going to be exciting as we continue on with this season. It was fun to have a lot more throughout the core of our racing calendar, having Domino's take over the Thursday slot, but it is fun to see all the familiar faces at the Upstate Racing League back. It is going to be a 16-race championship season, 11 races on the regular season, a 12-driver, 5-race chase for the championship that starts on the 2017 side of things. That'll bring us to Bristol, Langley, Stafford, Five Flags, and New Smyrna, but there's plenty of those very well-known and historic short tracks going to be in competition on this regular season. So as we get ready for tonight's Les Enterprises MP Roy Incorporated 100, do want to give a call to our title sponsor on tonight's race, as well as the championship, Les Enterprises MP Roy. Formed back in 2007 as Canada's only authorized racing electronics dealership and as a trackside parts vendor, they have since expanded their offering to major products, include companies such as AR Bodies, Coleman Racing, Joe's Racing Products, Leaf Raceware, Longacare Racing Products, Port City Race Cars Racing Electronics, Swift Springs, and many more. You can find more information regarding them on their website at LesEnterprisesMPRoyInc.com or give them a call at 1-877-35-MP-ROY. That's 1-877-356-7769. Qualifying complete, though, we take a look to the first NHR Racing pole award on the year, and it belongs to the 25 of Stefan Marinak. He'll bring us to the green flag and get this championship underway via a 24.111 to put him on pole position. That's just about a tenth and change off of the lap record set by Justin Fuller at this racetrack a couple of years ago at a 23.981. The rest of the field goes as such. CJ LeVere going to start tonight in second. Justin Fuller, fastest car in practice and net track record holder, going to start tonight third. Al Smith Jr. in fourth, and Justin McDuff rounds out your top five.
Dale O'Neill will start 6th, AJ Hamill 7th, Eric Hagg will start 8th, Jason Stenney, will start 9th, and Paul Fugate will round out the top 10.
Bruce Hilton in 11th spot tonight. Eric Spencer in the number 12 spot. Unlucky number 13 tonight belongs to Guillaume Fortin alongside 14th position Nicholas Rasmussen, James McIntyre Jr. through 15th.
Travis Wallace will start 16th, Brian Rogers Jr. 17th, Brandon Odo will start 18th, John Addo will start 19th, and Dylan Gaudet will start 20th.
Beatty Callahan back in 21st position as well, 22nd spot. Going to belong to Mike Holtzclaw. Continuing on through 23rd, Danny Dubuque. You got Cale Frenier back in 24th, and Jay Dubuque in 25th.
And rounding out the rest of the field is going to be Alex Orions. He's going to start 26th. He's going to be the last car to take a qualifying lap. And then AJ Bunch and Mike Fortier will start at the end of the field. I don't know if I see them out there right now, but they may make an appearance later on tonight.
Looks like Bunch just back in the sim, but not on track. Maybe Ford's to start for the pit lane. We talked specifically about this Iowa Speedway. 7/8 of a mile, a Rusty Wallace Signature Series track, banking coming in at 12 to 14 degrees. Again, it is a short track by the big car standards. It is one of the bigger tracks, though, that we will see on this campaign. 100 laps, a fair amount of space to work it out. It should be a fun night of racing as we get this 2016-17 championship underway. As always, we're so happy to have you right here with us at LSRTV and iRacing Live. We're ready to rock and roll for the Les Enterprises MP Roy Incorporated 100 race 1 of 16 on a brand new Upstate Racing League championship at a turn number 4. American Ethanol, green flag in air, and we're underway to turn number 1 for the first time. Good jump for everybody, side by side, 1 and 2 for the first time. 25.51, pull out the first 2 spots down the back.
You're going to see that number 2 of LeVere. He got a little tight in the turn 1 and turn 2 right there, as you're going to see him still stay on the outside. We're going to see a pass for the lead. It looks like Justin Fuller. He wanted to make a really big move there, but he was not able to make it. Actually kind of lost a little bit of ground right there, but that shows you that he really tried to push it out of 4 with those new green tires.
Justin Fuller in the 51, big step up the hill at a turn number 2. You'd open up the door for the Mobile 1, number 20, Justin McDuff. He'll go to the inside. That's going to make a side-by-side battle for third. Fuller going to battle back on the top side of the racetrack, be able to have the positioning at the start-finish on in what is actually going to be that battle for second. Marinak still back out and in front of things now. So McDuff at a number 20, single files out in third, side-by-side behind the 96 of Al Smith Jr. under attack. And he'll take the L in that battle. The 2 is CJ LeVere, high side on the racetrack, moves his Aaron Chevrolet up a spot.
Yeah, it looks like he's probably looking for some speed up there in the track. They ran a lot of laps in practice down at the bottom, and we know that you can really lay down some rubber down towards the bottom of the track. And as the race goes on, we're going to see the guys go up the track. So maybe he's trying to search for some speed, as we can see all these cars start to get single file. And looks like for the first top 10, they're single file. Looks like the number 13, that pink car of Marinak, he's on the outside trying to make something happen. Looks like he's gonna get it done this time. They're 3 wide right in the turn 1 right there.
Just said that it's a little bit of a wider racetrack. They got some extra space to play around with, and these guys absolutely want to utilize all of that. So will things calm down up inside of the top 5? Still battling going on throughout the racetrack. The 43 mission Jason Stenney, he'll go to the inside. Right on the door of the Lions Club International Chevrolet, Paul Fugate. He stays on the outside. It'll be a side-by-side fight back down to turn number 1, battling over the 8th position. Stenney on the bottom of the racetrack, get a pull clear.
Yeah, Paul Fuggate's made himself 2 spots since he started. He's looking to get some more, being hungry on behind that number 43 of Jason Stenny. Not making it work right now. He actually has a mirror full of cars. He has about 4 cars behind him, and they're about 2 wide behind him. And going the next turn, he's got to wonder, all these cars right behind him. He's got to really be worried. He's got them really right there on his deck lid.
A challenge for the position as the field heads down the back straightaway, back off to 3 and 4. The top 2, the gap slowly begins to close. Marinak now just 6/10 in front of Fuller, but the battle continues back with the 52.
Oh, wow. Huge contact. They were 3 wide right there. In the 52 did get a little bit of on the inside, but kept it going. He's on the bottom of the track right now and making up some big spots right now. This is the battle to watch between the 44 and all the cars behind him, seeing if he can hold them off as they're really charging right now. You see the 24 trying to duck down, and looks like they're going, oh, the 52 is almost around, almost looped it. Nice save, but he's going to lose a lot of time right there.
Left side tires on the apron, not the best strategical way to make this track a 12 to 14 degree bank and racetrack to 0 to 12. Doesn't work very well. He does a good job of hanging on, but it has cost him some positions. The driver that you saw getting aggressive at the inside, the 24 Chevrolet Corvette, a branded auto, defending series champion in the iRacing Chevrolet, trying to work in the middle of the pack and get away through the field. The 3 wide in front of him, the 73 Eric Spencer, ends up getting back in line behind the 44 before they get back down to 1 and 2. That 71 rather, Nicholas Rasmussen continues to occupy the outside of the racetrack. They're 2 wide, 2 rows deep down the back straightaway. All of this just a little bit over 4.5 seconds off of the race lead.
And that 71 really utilizing that top lane as we just talked about not too long ago. We're only 10 laps, 11 laps going on this time around, and you can already see drivers searching for speed and trying to get the best arc. But when you have someone on the inside of you or on the outside of you, you have to change your line. And looks like the 71 was most comfortable with going to the top because he didn't have to worry about arcing it. He could just go into the corners. You see Paul Fugate, he got really tight in the middle of the corner right there, almost got into the number 13 of the 13 of Fortin right there. That was pretty close right there. As we're gonna take a look at the lead, looks like Justin Fuller right now. He's getting a little bit of action. He's getting really close in on Stefan Marinak. He's actually going to the bottom of the track right here to take a peek right here. But he's on the inside of him. I don't think it's gonna work this time, but he's definitely there, Evan.
There's no surefire way to kind of dictate, do you want to be on the inside or the outside of the racetrack? I think we've seen a lot of passes to mid-pack, some bottom, some top. The 51, though, got to the inside of the 25 a couple of laps ago. They'll work by a slow number 4, Cale Frenier. Some issues going to take him off of the lead lap. Fuller got to the inside really tight. Pushed up to the door of Marinak off of turn number 4, and while the 51 did have a nose in front for a moment down in the quarter, Marinak has still been able to maintain that lap lead up at the front of the field from 1 through 14. Unchallenged so far. A couple of bonus points up for grabs tonight include not only the bonus point for leading a lap, but a bonus point for pole position, which means Marinak's got 2 in the back pocket. Another one up for grabs for most laps led. 25 looking for max points, but I think Justin Fuller at this moment may be just a little bit quicker. He'll get the preferred line down to turns 1 and 2. We'll see if Marinak's able to defend coming off of 2.
Yeah, well, the thing about these cars is they have such good turn into the corners, but they don't have enough power to really push out of the corners. You're going to see that the 25 is going to have a really easy time really defending his position just by running the outside line, but it does look like he let him by that time. He looked like he got out of the gas and just decided, he's going to let him lead that lap and maybe just follow his track, see where the line is and see where he can go. It is clear that the number 51 of Justin Fuller is quicker at this point in the race.
Trying to be able to now run away with this one as the 51 is in control. Marinak was able to lead the opening 14 laps of this race, and the 51 Justin Fuller could maintain the race lead through lap number 29. He would then have the upper hand in the most laps led category again, but by leading that 1 lap, he gets at least that 1 bonus point. All a big important step. It obviously, as we noted, through these first 11 races on the championship, trying to qualify for the chase, but also every single win on the year will be a bonus point. Once that chase for the championship starts, the series tends to have very close championship battles, so first, definitely much more than a P2 when it comes to the long run. You're looking at a battle for 4th right now. Al Smith Jr. going to be able to get that spot back. He's back where he started with a move on the 20 machine that time at 1 and 2.
Yeah, that was a good move on the outside. Looks like they're getting in each other a little bit. This small little pack is getting a little feisty, especially off turn 4, which is the most aggressive turn for some of these guys. They're really rolling the dice on their tires, because if we have a really long green flag run, some of these cars are really going to fall off. And I think the guys who are passing now are the ones who have saved their tires quite a bit. I mean, we're almost at 20 laps into this race already, and you can already see how some drivers are now starting to appear to start passing and to start making those moves, and they're able to make them a lot more fluidly than some others, as we're seeing it looks like the number 96 car of AJ Smith really start to rally, and he's starting to catch that number 2 car. And that's going to be good for him, because then he'll be able to get a podium spot, maybe try and set his eyes on Stefan Marinac as we see a 2-wide battle for 5th.
And the battle continues back at a pack. The 20 really trying to not continue to fall backwards. Al Smith passed him on the inside, and now the 18 of AJ Hamel is going to pass him on the outside. The 20 going to drop all the way back actually to 7th that time by Jason Stenny on the outside, got in position. The 16 to Dale O'Neill in line. He also wants to follow suit. He's not going to be able to this time. The 20 slides up, shuts the door, and kind of plays hooky with him down to 3. Jumps back down to the preferred lane and making life very difficult for Dale O'Neill. In the 16's in the fence and in turn number 4. Spins down to the grass. He'll hang on to it.
Yeah, he kept that car straight, which is not good for him. He's not going to get a caution. He's going to have to really find a way to rally back. That's not good. That's a lot of right side damage, and boy, that's not good for him. But a lot of damage. Poor luck for that guy. He just pushed it way too hard into 4 trying to get that position.
I'm sure he was not very happy with the 20 machine at Justin McDuff. The 20 has got every right to defend that position, but it ends up kind of with the 16 tucked to the back bumper. Maybe got really tight off the quarter in the fence. He started in 6th position tonight. Looked like he had a good race car. Dale O'Neill is now in 17th position with 22 laps completed. Eric Hagg also in front of him. The Hagg TV entry, another one of our partners here this year, presenting the Hagg TV Hard Charger Award for the driver who makes up the most positions start to finish in this race. Well, right now the 99 is in the negative. Eric started in the 8th spot. He's got some damage back in 16th position, so he and Dale O'Neill going to be trying to work their way through the pack here as they go side by side.
That's a good battle between those two guys. Number 99 car looks like he's putting up a good fight. He's taking the top line a little more. As you're going to see, some of these cars already have, like you said, a significant amount of damage. Some of these guys just have a little bit of a little tire rub on their door. Nothing you're going to be surprised on seeing this entire season. But for the season opener at a track like this, it does kind of surprise me that we already have tire marks on each other's car this early. But the 96 doing a good job holding his position over Eric Hagg. That's the 86, my apologies. And it looks like he's going down to try and take the position that's Eric Hagg. He wants the position real bad, going to the bottom of the track, trying to make it stick. You can see that nose just want to go to the left just a little bit every time he exits forward. He's going to lose this position to Dale O'Neill probably too.
It's always funny, we talk about these short track races and how, damage isn't a big issue, and I think that there's no doubt that the damage at Eric Hagg is hurting him somewhat at the moment as this battle continues, but you're absolutely right. If there's any race in which you don't really need any sheet metal left to win, most likely on the short tracks. But again, starting to work under a longer green flag run. 100 laps again, Iowa Speedway, one of the bigger tracks that we'll see on this calendar. Upcoming weeks will bring us to Lucas Oil Raceway, New Smyrna, and the USA International Speedway through round number 4. Iowa obviously topping the list amongst those. But when we get later on in this season, we will see a couple of 125 lap races here and there, especially when we get to the Chase. Those races all going to be between 125 and 200 laps, a little bit longer than what we see in the regular season. But even with all of that being said, at a bigger track, we're green, and the laps are ticking off. We're more than quarter distance already through tonight's Lace Enterprises MP Roy Incorporated 100. Not necessarily clean top to bottom, but still in the end green so far. And Justin Fuller just now starting to pull away from Stefan Baranek. Do want to mention for that 25 and kind of give a call to Boston. Hasn't really been challenged much after losing the race lead from Justin Fuller. He's 0.7 of a second back, but he's almost 2 seconds in front of the next car behind him. So the 25 really not in a bad spot right now.
Oh yeah, when you think about points, he's already, you got the pole, got the laps that he needed to. Probably at this rate, he looks like he is losing Justin Fuller just a little bit each lap. But he already has 2 bonus points in his pocket, and that's nothing to boot. And in second place, he'll probably even out on points. He may, if Justin Fuller wins the race, in the end, then he'll lose by 1 point. But that's still a really good points day for that team. And when it's the first race of the season, I mean, you can't win them all, and so I think the position he's in, it's pretty darn good. As he ran a 25 flat and still just a little bit slower than Justin Fuller, and he looked like Justin looked like he was definitely waiting a little bit for his tires to run in before he actually started to weigh him down. As like everyone behind him, it looks like is starting to really use their tires a lot because they have traffic. Like you said, the first 2 cars, they have no one around them really, and they can run whatever line they want to without any hazard. But the only cars that can't, they're the only 2 cars that can. Everyone behind them is starting to, they want to pass and they want to protect the line. But in order to do that, they have to go to a different line, start shaving their tires off, and they're not going to catch them if they continue to do that.
It's almost interesting that things are more spread out up at the front of the field than in the back of the pack. We take a look back at that 16 of Dale O'Neill, still back in 16th position. He has been able to get around Eric Hagg, and just that lap by was able to stay in front of the 52 of Bruce Hilton. He'll now go on the attack to the inside of the 86 of Travis Wallace. 2 laps ago, these guys were 2 wide, 3 rows deep, battling over 12 seconds off of the race lead. So that's to say that every single position, I feel, is of great importance to all these guys, especially in the season opener. Again, 11 races to battle into the championship fight. You got plenty of time. Your fate's not going to be sealed here tonight at Iowa, but everybody wants to get the season off to a roaring start to keep some momentum flowing.
Yeah, and I just wanted to point out that you're noticing that the cars are actually starting to go up the track quite a bit with the way the tires are falling off. I don't think you're seeing anybody go to the yellow line like they were. We talked about how I can't remember who, but somebody was in the apron almost trying to use it to their advantage, and you're not even seeing anybody go down to that lane. That's how much these tires are going, and how much the track's changing as the race goes on. We started with a cool track, and now it's really warm. Seeing some really close hits between the 52 and the 99. I have to keep our eyes on that. But yeah, these cars are having to go in so much higher and exit so much higher because they cannot power out of the corner lower than they are right now. Otherwise, they'll just get passed. The engines are not as strong as most of the cars that are on this circuit. So that's something to watch. As you're seeing some of the cars go all the way to the wall to achieve the most speed.
You can see the line getting rubbered in on the bottom. That line obviously going to widen out as these cars continue to step up the hill all the way through last Thursday. We're bringing you, as we noted, coverage of Domino's TYJ Cup and Truck Series action. But while all of that was going on, the guys at the Upstate Racing League kind of got a head start. They did 4 preseason races. You don't see a lot of leagues do it. I like the concept of it, and we saw Nicholas Rasmussen go to victory lane twice, both at Oxford Plains and the Five Flag Speedway. AJ Hamill won at Stafford, and Al Smith took the win at Rockingham. A little bit of practice at tracks that we will see later on down the road. So for these guys, well, it's the first points-paying event on the year. You could technically say it is race number 5 on the year for them, and all of those preseason races, Austin, came in sequential order. So it's not like we did a couple here on off nights. These guys did them once every week on Thursdays, just as this schedule is going to be. We race in 7 days at Lucas Oil, 7 days after that at New Smyrna. Well, those races at Oxford, Stafford, Five Flags, and Rockingham were week after week every Thursday. So they kind of got back into the routine of things ahead of time, and I think that'll help them out in the long run.
Oh yeah, that really gets your head in the game as a driver, and with any kind of any kind of sporting event, you see them do preseason games, and even in the NASCAR series, you see them do the speed weeks, and that gets their drivers in the game. Well, sometimes whenever you're running in an iRacing league, they just have the first race or maybe a practice before, but you're not actually racing. This gets you acclimated with the drivers that you're going to be acclimated with the rest of the season. You may even brew a friendship on the track or a rivalry, and maybe we haven't seen any of those. We haven't seen any of those, at least directly, at least, and I haven't heard any over the radio. But there's a lot of on-track relationships that start to happen during those first 4 races with new drivers, with old drivers, and just get back in the swing of things, like you said, Evan. That's really important for some of these drivers, because some of the drivers need that. Some of them don't, but some of them really need to get back in the swing of things, especially since it's been so long.
40 laps complete and past 2/5 distance, still green from the Iowa Speedway. 23 of the total 28 drivers that took the green flag here tonight are still scored on the lead lap. Couple of drivers 1 lap down at the moment. The 4 are Cale Freniger in 24th and AJ Bunch in 25th. Those 2 drivers going to be battling over what would be the CFK Construction lucky dog position. If we were to see a yellow flag come out, one of them would get a free ticket back to the lead lap. You do also have Mike Fortier 4 laps down in 26th position. JD Callahan 7 laps down 27th. Jay DeBoot is already out of the race way back.
We got we got a caution out as I was talking about the battle between third place. We'll get a camera on it here in just a second. Looks like we got a car in the wall. Number 19 of AJ Bunch.
Contact with the dotted dot of Eric Hag. Hag was over the radio and apologized for it, and I think the 19 kind of tried to come down to get to the inside of the 86, and I think at the same time, Hag pushed up at the bottom. Nonetheless, contacted 1 and 2. AJ Bunch out of shape, just noted that he was a driver who won in the preseason here and got things underway. It's not going to be the start to the championship that his iRacing Memes team wanted. The 19 heavy contact to the outside wall.
Yeah, I was watching that number 99 car for quite a few laps, and it looked like he was trying the bottom line as much as he could. It wasn't working, and I thought for multiple laps he was going to have issues, and it looked like it eventually caught up with him.
So for the first time, we head behind the pace car. Pit road is open. Do we see the strategy come into play? We've seen races, and we will see races this year where there's pit service aplenty. We'll also see races in which you don't see any, but we're halfway, and we're headed down pit side. The 25 of Marinac, the 50 with a Fuller, Smith, and it looks like a handful of drivers down for service. Unique pit road rules in this series. There are only 4 tires available over the course of the night. You can take 4 tires now and be done with it. You can take 2 right side tires now and 2 later. The car can only go up on the jack twice over the course of the night.
And I'm seeing a really weird strategy by Justin Fuller. He was going about 10 miles an hour faster than anyone else on pit road. I mean, he's going to get penalized because the pit speed is 40 miles an hour, so I don't understand what's going on with the crew there, whether they told him the wrong speed, but he was going 10 miles over.
He'll go with 4 tires, get that complete. He does have damage out. He'll sit in the box for obviously a penalty, and the race off for the pit lane, it looks like. The 24 of Brandon Odo came in, and he went, hard to tell if it was a 4-tire stop, I believe, for that team. The 24, though, in and out with service, will be the first driver to cycle things around, and I believe we did see all the drivers on the lead lap come down to the pit lane, so that should refresh everybody, and I don't really see anybody up front, if anybody really did decide to go with just 2 tires, coming back down pit road from here on out. You saw how quickly that 45-lap green flag run went. It's just as easy for these final 50 laps of the second half of the race when we go back green flag racing. I don't think we will see any additional pit service on tonight, but nonetheless, Brandon Auto, who started in 18th position, hoping that his call could give him an opportunity to win this race.
Yeah, other than the few up front, I really didn't see very many cars take the strategy, but they're going to get past pretty quickly with the strategy, and I think they know that, but some of these guys desperately need the track position, and that's really important for these guys, especially, when we have a restart, and especially 50 laps into a race, there's a good likelihood, especially with the mentality of a short track league, that there may be some bumping and spinning out. Maybe these guys are hoping for it. I know Stefan Marinac definitely is not, but and I do see some pretty significant damage from the 24 is what I've been told. But with these guys in the way they're driving, they're going to be passed pretty quickly. But if they can stay in the top 10, I think that's better for some of these guys than where they were. And I think that's the strategy behind it.
We'll see if it works out for him. The 24 of Voto, I do think, went with 2 tires on the pit lane right sides only. Al Smith Jr. was already up front when he came down pit road, and he was in and out of the box very quickly. as well, so may also be on a similar tire strategy. One driver right now in front of the number 24, JD Callahan, was 7 laps down. He stays out and does not come down for service. He will get 1 lap back and go to just now being 6 laps down at this point in the race, and he will rejoin things on the lead lap in a moment. We do see now a bunch of drivers back onto the lead lap. That 50-minute Justin Fuller, though, is still on the pit lane. We noted that he sped down pit road. Not sure what the end game is here for the Atomic Wraps entry also, but he's now 1 lap down and still in the box getting service.
Yeah, I see some significant right side damage that I didn't really, I don't know. It looks like he is leaving now, but he will be at least 1 lap down. We're showing that he's 1 lap down by our counter. He may be 2 laps down whenever he does cycle around. But yeah, a bizarre, strange of events. We'll have to get a report on that of why that's happening. Because definitely for your leader for the last portion of the race, that's not good for him, and he's not going to get the most laps led if he doesn't get back in the lead lap.
Lights off on top of the pace car, rather, for that, and we're going to go back to the green flag racing conditions. Side by side, up at the front of the field, it appears the 24 Brandon Auto is decided to go to the outside of the front row for the restart. That option is most definitely available, at least on the first green flag tonight. Not sure for the second. We'll find out that a 96 of Al Smith Jr. in second from the inside. Green flag back in the air. 49 laps down, 51 to go. Driver's going to make sure that they stay in line. No lane changes before the start finish on. Off to 1 and 2. Odo on the outside of the racetrack tries to pull clear, and he'll get it down the back.
Oh yeah, Odo had a pretty darn good restart. It could have been a little better. He was actually dead even with the number 96, but once he got into turn 1, that was definitely the decision to make. As you see, the 25 of Stefan Marinak almost crushed the wall, and he's still going to be on the outside of the number 2. But that was very close. That just shows you how much those tires are gonna be. You're seeing him just wail right by the number 20 of McDuff right there, and he's going to be on the charge for that lead real quick.
Just to clarify for the 24 Brandon Auto, who again started 18th position in this race, the race leader does not have the option to choose inside or out on the initial green. They do have the option to choose it on every restart there on out, as long as they make the call at the 2 to go. So the smart move, I think, by that 24, able to pinch the 96 down, and even on the 2 tires, trying to run away with this one. A lot of fighting going on behind, a side-by-side battle for what is 4th position. Baranak's able to pick up second from Al Smith, but behind them, you got Jason Stenny side by side with a 2 of CJ Lavere, and a 43 going to get picked on the outside. The 96 blocks the top.
Yeah, those are some good moves by those guys. I'll just say that the 20 of McDuff has gone down at least to, he's outside the top 10 and he's fading real quick. So that tire strategy is not working at all for him. He must have just ate those tires up earlier, but some really good battles at 13. And the 73 right now doing battle out of turn 4. That's Fortin and Eric Spencer right there. They're side by side at the line. That looks like the 73 has the advantage. But we're seeing a small group here, just inside the top 10. The 71's leading them, or the 43's leading them. Pardon, but the 43 and the 71 are doing pretty good battle right here. As the 71 looks like he's going to take the top line. That's Rasmussen, and what you talked about earlier, he won one of those pre-races, so a little bit of confidence, and I'm sure he'll make his way up towards the little bit of the front here in a little bit.
That time at the start finish on, tied for the race lead. Stefan Baranek, the 25, fresh tires coming up the inside. Brandon Auto trying to defend on the outside of the racetrack, trying to hang on. The 2-tire theory is that you hope the buffer, the 2-tire cars behind you, is enough to check up the guys on a 4. Well, it was not enough. It's Stefan Baranek, the Flash, who started on pole position, is back in front now at lap number 56.
Yeah, and that 24 is trying to stay right there with him, but he can't really he can't go to the bottom like that for very long with the left sides the way they are. He's going to get actually very loose because the left sides are just paper thin at this point, I'm sure, with the way they've been driving. But he's actually doing a very good job with what he has by staying in second, and he's staying right behind him. He's doing a really good job of holding on to that car the way it is. And the guys behind him, the next 4 cars that are in that small little group, they all have 4 tires, and they're not catching them that much. So he's making it work starting from 18th. This is a great call by him.
A smart move, and again, just end up with a net gain. If you think that, if you drop back to third or fourth and you don't think that you would have been able to drive up to a top 5 spot if you just took 4 tires and sat in the middle of the pack, it's the right move to make. 58 laps in of 100 so far on the night. Battling continuing inside the top 10. Paul Fugate, who started in 10th and right now occupies 9th, is under attack. Dale O'Neill, we saw the 16 get all kinds of out of shape. He was in the fence in the opening 15 laps of this race in contact for a battle for 6th. He dropped all the way back to 17th. He's back inside the top 10 and trying to get some more.
Yeah, he's right there on the inside of Paul Fugate, and he's trying to make that bottom of the 44 right there. He's charging pretty good right there, and I think Fugate's gonna hold him down to the bottom, maybe make him use his tires up. And the longer you stay down there, the more you're gonna heat those things up. So he's either got to pass him pretty quick, shut the door right here, which is actually what he's gonna do. He's gotta let those tires cool off. He's got to stay back up to the top as the 44 looked like he is. He's kind of getting close to him on the back bumper, but it looks like the 16 is gonna pull away.
It's that position. He's back to single digits. Brandon Otto's getting absolutely ganged up on. CJ Lavera went to second. Here comes the 71. Nicholas Rasmussen gone. Jason Stenny gone. The 13 of Guilanti Fortin also trying to come on through. And the 24, that small mistake into the fence. And then the older tires, not very good in the battle for position. And he's all the way back now side by side with the 13 at a turn number 2. At least if he loses this position, he may be able to get back in line and catch his breath, but they're still side by side.
Yeah, I mean, we took our eyes off him for just a moment, and a little bit of chaos ensued, and he's gonna lose a few spots. But I'm not terribly surprised that the car was handling as the way it is. We just talked about how at least I talked about how it was really surprising that it was up there, but still in the top 10. I think he was outside the top 10 when he pitted, so he's definitely got a good buffer between him and the outside of the top 10. He's got about 2.5 seconds, and he's not doing that bad with those guys on 4 tires. He's right on the back bumper of Fortin right there. That number 13 car is getting a lot of abuse from that 24 car.
Yeah, 24 is not giving up. Again, that's not really Brandon Otto's MO, is to just roll over. But I think in a position here where if you challenge him, you're thinking that you can kind of, not really bully him into a mistake. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but kind of fluster him a little bit. But I think the best thing for the 24, don't tear up the tires any furthermore. That restart, though, brought us just through and now past the halfway point in tonight's Les Enterprises MP Royal 100. So let's take a look at our iRacing Midway Race Break, brought to you by iRacing, the world leading in simulation, and as well the official sim racing partner of NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, and many more. Stefan Baranek, your pole sitter, trying to get back into position for most laps led. He led the opening 14 laps of this race at a 4-tire call, as him back on top. The 25, 1.4 seconds in front of CJ Lavera, who's being hotly contested by Nicholas Rasmussen behind in the number 3 position. Jason Stenny, Guilamonte Fortin battling for 4th and 5th position on track right now. Just behind them, Brandon Otto in the fence once again. The 24 starting to look a little bit out of shape here. Here comes the 52 of Bruce Hilton at battle for that position. The 52 right now, though, in 7th. Eric Spencer, 8th with Dale O'Neill. Just behind them, Paul Fugate hanging on to P10.
Yeah, Brian Rogers Jr., he's right there in the 11th, not doing too bad. John Ada, 12th, moved up from 19th spot. Alex Orions, 13th. Dylan Goudet will be 14th. Cale Frenier will be 15th. Eric Hagg, he's doing a little better than he was a little bit ago, but he's definitely not where he wants to be. He's charging towards the front. He's in 16th. James McIntyre Jr., 17th. Dan Dubeck, 18th. Al Smith Jr., 19th. And Justin McDuff is in 20th.
Only 2 more cars on the lead lap. From there on out, 21st is A.J. Hamill, Mike Holtzclaw in 22nd. Drivers' laps down include Justin Fuller, who started in 3rd and was the fastest driver in practice. We also noted he owns the lap record here at the Iowa Speedway. 1 lap down in 23rd. J.D. Callahan is 6 laps down, 24th. Travis Wallace, 11 laps down, 25th. Mike Fortier, A.J. Bunch, Jay DeBuke out of this race, 26th, 27th, and 28th. That's a look at your iRacing Midway Race Break. For more information on the wide variety of sim racing possibilities online, you can visit iRacing.com and sign up today. Battle is on for 2nd. Here comes the 71 of Nicholas Rasmussen. To the back bumper, he looks high on CJ Lavera.
Yeah, he's really looking high, and it looks like he's going to get a little bit of more momentum by going high, as he's looking right there at the number 2. He's looking for a chance to make something happen, or maybe wait for that number 2 to have a mistake. You know, at a track like this, if you push the car too much, maybe you'll be in the wall. So why not put the pressure on and see if he'll get in the wall, play a little mind games, and get as close as you can without actually wrecking him. And as they go into turn 3, you'll see the 71 dives down just a little more than the 2 car, but he's not going to get as much speed out of it. The 2 car is beating him out of the corners, so maybe the 71's waiting for something. And I think that's the name of the game. It's not easy to pass here, especially when you're on about the same tires, and you have the same almost the same setup in each and every car with a chance of brake bias change now, and you got to wonder what the 71 can do to get around him. I think the thing right now is he's just waiting at this point, just playing the waiting game, Evan.
Gotta buy time. Unfortunately for everybody but Stefan Baranek, starting to run out of time. We're going to be at 3/4 distance and 25 laps to go, and about a minute and change. And that is when we get to the end. Caution, though, will slow things down again.
Yeah, looks like we got a lot of cars junked up into turn 1. It looks like Pearl Fugate's in that one as well. Eric Hagg, looks like he's involved. We got
He
couple
came
other
over the
cars
radio
involved.
and said, "You're not clear," so I assume there was some sort of disagreement off of turn number 4. We'll take a second look at the replay. Looked like the 4 completed the pass, slid high on the 99, and wasn't clear. I think that, and he came up on the 44. Fugate there, no intentions of lifting, and he was going to be okay, but that 4 slides down, collects it on it on, and Fugate heading over to go. Second incident for Eric Hagg tonight, second caution on the night.
Yeah, when you think you're clear and you're going to force your car up there, and that's just one of those racing deals as a lot of people would call it. And the 4 car definitely got the least amount of damage out of those 3 cars that were involved. So the other 2, they have pretty significant damage. They're going to have to see if they can get it fixed. Eric Hagg has a lot of front end damage. He hit the wall hard. And so I didn't see any blown engines, but these guys are definitely going to be low on power for sure.
All the drivers who took 4 tires obviously can't come down to the pit lane, but Brandon Odo does. Again, he went with 2 tires at the midway point. He'll come in and get the other 2 remaining tires. It's the last service he can get because the car cannot go on the jack any more than 2 times. Of course, he won't have any tires left. No reason to come back down to the pit lane. He'll fuel up and get back out on track. Not that the 24, being a defending series champion, is deserving of much criticism. I'm not sure about the strategy call, though. Just based on what we've seen over the last couple of years, the yellow at halfway typically means you want 4 tires. Now, though, Austin, kind of against what he did the first time, in a position to get the track position as opposed to the tire advantage. Now he'll have better tires than anybody else in front of him, but be back in traffic. We'll see how it works out for the 24 team. We'll have less than 25 laps to go when we do get the restart.
You know, if you're going to make a gamble like he did, it would almost been better if he took 0 tires instead up front, and now he would have full 4 tires and be able to charge the field hardcore, because you still have a quarter of the race left this lap. I mean, I think if they're going to think about maybe if they come back to this track or a track like it, like Richmond or Rockingham, if they come back to tracks like those and they have similar situations, take 0 tires, because when another caution comes out, you'll be able to blow by the whole field.
We'll go back green in just a moment. First, we'll take an opportunity to step aside. More still to come from the Iowa Speedway on the other side. You're watching the Upstate Racing League on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
Once its sights are set, nothing can stop the ferocious lion from capturing its prey. Relying on keen senses, lions search patiently before striking with alarming speed. Wait for it. Gotcha, Mr. Piece of Rubbish. He is truly the master of his environment. Do good, be a lion.
Doubled back up for a restart for Newton, Iowa. Going to have 77 of tonight's 100 laps. And Lays Enterprises MP Roy 100 complete. And it's a restart with 23 laps to go. Side by side on the front row, Stefan Marinak and CJ LeVere, Nicholas Rasmussen, Jason Stenny through the top 4 at rows 1 and 2. If you got something for the 25, now's the time to show it. Your pole sitter back in control at a turn number 4, American Ethanol, green flag. Marvelous jump, though, for CJ LeVere on the outside of the racetrack. Challenges to 3/100ths of a second at turn number 1. Not enough to keep it on the door.
And he has a huge run coming out of 2. Does he have enough to get to him? It does not look like he'll have it by turn 3, but definitely a really good effort to pull away from the guys behind him. He's definitely gonna have a good shot at that 25 as we see him 2 wide behind him. 43 cars making it 2 wide behind him, but the ones we're looking at right now is the 25 and the 2. This battle is going to be a good one to watch as we're seeing some different ways of entering the corners into turn 2, and the 25 looks like he had something more than the 2 or anyone behind him did. As you see, also the 71 of Rasmussen, he's coming out there to play right now. We haven't seen him in the top 3 all day until a little bit ago, and he's now showing his colors.
Only been one driver to be able to do anything so far with Stefan Marinak, and that was Justin Fuller. Sure, he's back on the lead lap via a wave around the last time by recipient of the CKF Construction Lucky Dog, but he is outside of the top 15. It has got a long way to go. He's 21st position on track right now. We haven't seen anybody else have anything. For Stefan Marinak, and CJ LeVere was able to challenge on the restart. Again, a spectacular jump at a 4, challenged at a turn number 2, but I think now the inevitable is starting to happen, and that's the 25 pulling away. Nicholas Rasmussen, though, has had a car that has been consistently getting better as the night's gone on. 3rd best at practice, but started on the outside of row number 7 back in 14th earlier on the night. He challenges for 2nd right now off of the bumper of the 2.
Yeah, that's a good battle going on there. You're seeing him go down there ever so often just to see if he can get a peek, maybe make the 2 car overthink something, or maybe think he's actually there, give on the room, and then go down right in there. As we're seeing some pretty good battles back in the pack. You know, Jason Stenny and Dalen Fortin are also going at it for P4, and it looks like we have a 4-wide battle towards the back, and some close calls with the 18 of AJ Hamill. Those are some good close calls in the 97. He's in the wall too. These guys are going right at it here, Evan.
It's short track racing at 145 miles an hour at a turn number 4. Tight that time in 2. 61 and the 18 together. They'll go 3 wide at a turn number 2. Justin McDuff to the inside of the racetrack. He tries to challenge. That door is shut. Oh well, more battling continues in front with a 31, the lone driver at Alana. Look at a 96 of Al Smith Jr. going to the inside, hunting a top 10 spot.
Yeah, he's going after number 73 once he gets by the 26 there. If he can make it happen, that's Dylan Gadet. He's losing some spots. He's on the outside, and looks like we're going to have the challenge for the top 10 right here. That number 26 is going to lose the top 10. And oh, wow, look at the get-up by him. Oh, we got contact.
There goes the 12. Into the grass at the start-finish line. He's down and off for the racetrack. No caution. We stay green. Spinning that time at a turn 4 off the bumper of the 96 of Al Smith Jr. May not have been his fault, though, because there was contact in front, and the 3 wide is not slowing down at all. Eric Spencer, the driver, who goes backwards in the middle, down into 1 and 2. You'd think this is a battle for the race win. In fact, it's 3 seconds behind it inside the top 10.
Yeah, that number 97 has some get up to it. I noticed that car started like at about 15th, and then just a couple laps, he's back up to 10th, right back in the top 10. He's beating on the door of that number 52, and he's going to go right there, almost gets into him. He chopped him down pretty good, but he's going to have to get up out of turn 4, and he's going to be on his inside, probably the preferred line for those 2, and he's going to go do battle.
This battling continues, and I think these guys have become aware of that sense of urgency that we were talking about. Battle between the top 2, nothing is different. You're not missing anything. It's Stefan Marinak by half a second to CJ LeVere, and Nicholas Rasmussen has fallen off just a little bit in that 3 spot on track right now. But this herd of cars that at turn number 4 continue to put on a clinic. John Ada, defending race winner from 1 year ago here at the Iowa Speedway. He's now up into the number 8 position after starting at 19th, and the 18 of AJ Hamill follows him through. They both just got around Bruce Hilton.
Yeah, and the number 20 trying to make up something from what happened earlier. Lost so many spots on taking that 2-tire stop, and he's gaining those spots back, but not soon enough. That caution came a little too late for him, and if it didn't come at all, he wouldn't be in the spot he is. So at least got to be a little bit thankful for that, as he's trying to make work with the top 10 at the moment. That 97 and the 18's coming to tagging along, trying to catch those guys in front of him. That's Dale O'Neill they're trying to catch, and he's been in the wall all day, and even just about 2 laps ago, I saw him in the wall. So they got to be careful. They're catching him pretty quick now, and he's going to be on the inside. It's probably not going to be a difficult battle for him, as that 16 is really torn up.
O'Neill on the outside has had it up and down night. John Ada able to get around the 16 for the position that time, and no problem. In front of them, here comes Brandon Odo. Not sure about the tire strategy that this team implemented. They went with 2 tires at the halfway point when everybody else basically decided to go with 4. He pitted at the caution with 25 laps to go, took his second set and remaining 2 tires, put him on the right side, and has the tire advantage. He's into the number 5 position with 10 laps to go, though, and at a 2.6 second deficit. It's hard to think it'll be any more than maybe a P4 for him. He's closing in, though, very quickly to the back bumper, the 13.
Yeah, Fortin's losing a little bit of time, and that's because of that 2-tire advantage like you just talked about. But I wonder if that number 24 is thinking about the guy behind him of Ada. He's coming on a charge. He's about to pass up the 43 car right here, and he, as you see right now, Fortin is almost giving away the spot as he takes the low line. The 24 of Odo, he's taking the outside line. He's going to get a little bit of the advantage, and he's going to pull off. Not even a chance. 24 has it. 13's going to follow right back in suit. And it looks like the battle between for 6th place is still on with Jason Stenney.
That battle continues. It's 3.1 seconds off of the point. That gap continuing to grow. Baranak now clear by 0.8 of a second. Standing on the outside in the 43 as the 18 on the inside. That 97 has since been able to get on by, but nothing crooking that time for AJ Hamill. Hamill's been really following the 97 up to the pack, and it wasn't that long ago we thought this 43 Michita Stenney would be the one challenging for a position inside of the top 3. Started to fall off, though, here late.
Yeah, and I think that has a product of the tire and the fact that he restarted and had a little bit of momentum problem, and it just maybe I don't think he's been able to get up to momentum, and not with just the car, but just with the driving of he's always had to deal with somebody in front of him or behind him, and he's always been caught up. It looks like this entire time. Now that there's no one behind him, he's got the 20 behind him. Maybe he can make something work. As we're seeing a battle for the top 5. That's John Ada. He's making a huge charge. Oh man, they almost make contact. You see that 97 car gets sideways almost around, and he's going to get by him, it looks, but not easy. That 13 did not make it easy. He definitely kept him down to the apron pretty clear.
Right again in turn number 1 with 5 laps left to go. The 97 to John Ada clear at a turn number 2 into the top 5, and now the 13 trying to avoid dropping back is going to have to deal with the 18 of Hamill coming up the bottom. Hamill not going to be clear this time, but should be able to keep the inside down to turn 1 as they go door to door.
Yeah, the 18 car has been following that 97, almost like he's just right behind him the whole time, and you got to wonder how much that 18's been working, and the 97's been doing all the work for him, really, and now the 18 with the 97 so far away, the 13's actually making a pretty good challenge for the 18, but I think the 13 prefers the bottom line. However, the 13 is going to have to fight a little harder to get back up there, as he does get cleared by the 18 of Hamill, and Hamill's going to see if he can try and get Ada, but Ada's been real strong, and it looks like he's pulling away just a little bit between them.
7-1 Michigan Nicholas Rasmussen under fire. Brandon Auto into the top 3. And coming late. This time by, though, 2 laps to go. Maybe CJ Lavera going to come under fire, but definitely Stefan Marinak clear up front.
Yeah, Stefan Marinak's been running a great race. When you don't talk about the leader, and he's 1.3 seconds ahead, he's done a really good job, and he behind him, the 3 cars behind him are pretty bunched up, and who knows what could happen with these 3, but I think the 25 has got it pretty well sealed up.
Clear out at the front of the field inside of the final 7/8 of a mile here tonight from the Iowa Speedway. Stefan Baranak, a very popular name here on LSRTV at iRacing Live. In fact, is not a driver currently represented on the all-time winners list. But the 25 going to be able to break through tonight. A side-by-side fight for second, going to come off for the corner, but Stefan Marinak hangs on up top. He wins the Upstate season opener and takes it from Iowa, and CJ LeVere barely able to hang on. It maintains P2, defending champion on the tire call. All right, I'll give it to him. Brandon Otto able to come up and take third by the end of it.
Yeah, he made a great charge. Almost had him right there as you can see him in the 71 exchanging a little bit of paint, a little bit of congratulatory, and you'll seeing some pretty awesome fireworks in the back. That's for that number 25 of Stefan Marinak. Great run by him. He qualified on the pole and really just had a dominant day, and he's going to really rack up the points today. And I think that's when what really matters at the end of the day is, he won, and that's always a great feeling. But knowing that he's at the top of the pylon for the points next week, and that's always a great feeling going to the next race thinking, even if I don't have the greatest week, I still have a lot of points back on.
Not only is Stefan Marinak, I believe, going to be able to not only get the bonus point for pole position, bonus point for lap led, but he might have just got most laps led when it was all said and done, and that would be max points. It is for Stefan Marinak. You can't do any better. I believe he'll walk out of here with 46 points and on top of the championship standings. He got the burnout in, and he'll also go with a high-speed Polish victory lap down the back and do a little bit more. Stefan Marinak, your winner tonight for the Iowa Speedway. We'll go trackside and talk with him next on the LSRTV post-race show. You're watching the 2016-2017 Upstate Racing League Les Enterprises MP Roy Pro Late Model Series at LSRTV at iRacing Live. Post-race from Iowa on the other side.
Once its sights are set, nothing can stop the ferocious lion from capturing its prey. Relying on keen senses, lions search patiently before striking with alarming speed. Wait for it. Gotcha, Mr. Piece of Rubbish. He is truly the master of his environment. Do good, be a lion.
So cool, yeah. Nate, what are you working on at the moment?
So I'm working on the animation for the game. We're working on getting pit crews fully developed, and that involves a lot of moving parts. So I'm going in and making sure that each moving part can dovetail smoothly into the next one, so that when you pull in for a pit stop, it looks like the real thing, as opposed to a bunch of jumbled pieces that suddenly stop and then go and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's so cool, but why aren't you working on the time model? Nothing?
Let's take it from the top.
Okay, cool. I've got this time. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget that the next round of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, powered by iRacing.com. Sorry, I keep on messing that one up. Why are you changing the name all the time?
Just do it one more time. Do it one more time.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget the next round of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, powered by iRacing, will take place on Tuesday from 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Catch it on iRacing Live. Join Evan and the gang for what will hopefully be another fantastic race. Some of the best sim racing you'll ever see on the internet. Better?
Good, perfect.
Cool.
Nice.
Welcome back live to the Iowa Speedway. We're one race through a 16-race chase for the championship in the Upstate Racing League and one step closer to the end, but we just got things underway tonight. We're officially rocking and rolling on this 2016-17 Upstate Racing League Pro Late Model Series campaign, and we're happy to have you still with us at LSRTV at iRacing Live. We'll go trackside to victory lane in a moment. First, we take a look at tonight's full race results presented by Les Enterprises MP Roy Incorporated. Stefan Baranek starts on a pole position, takes everything, all the bonus points available, leads the most laps for his first career Upstate Racing League win, and he gets the job done to 1.4 seconds over top of DJ LeVere on a 25 lap to go restart late in this race. Brandon Otto close in the end, not able to snag that one final spot. He comes home third tonight. We'll be trackside with your top three momentarily. Continuing on through the running order, Nicholas Rasmussen comes home at fourth tonight. John Aiden, defending race winner, picks up 14 positions to come home fifth. When it's all said and done, AJ Hamill sixth tonight. Justin McDuff in seventh. Guilavante Fortin in eighth position. Al Smith Jr. comes home ninth, and Jason Stenny rounded out our top 10.
Dale O'Neill just is outside the top 10. He'll finish 11th. Dylan Gadet 12th. Bruce Hilton will finish out 13th. Dan Dubeck will finish 14th. James McIntyre Jr. 15th. Alex Orions 16th. Eric Spencer 17th. Justin Fuller 18th. Mike Holtzclaw 19th, and Brian Rogers Jr. 20th.
Only one other driver on the lead lap, 21st for Paul Fugate. The rest of the drivers off for the racetrack. Cale Frenier 1 lap down. J.D. Callahan 6 laps down, 22nd and 23rd for those two. Behind the fence, Travis Wallace in 24th. Eric Hagg 25th. Mike Fortier in 26th. With A.J. Bunch and Jay Dubuque 27th and 28th. It's a look top to bottom at tonight's Les Enterprises MP Roy Incorporated full race results from round number 1. And just as I noted there as he was on the last lap, I was taking a look at all the race winners in this Upstate Racing League, and I was kind of surprised to see Stefan Baranek's name not on there, and just double checked with him because I couldn't believe the stat, but it is indeed his first career win in the Upstate Racing League Les Enterprises MP Roy Pro Late Model Series. We're trackside with the driver of the 25 now. Stefan, congratulations for you guys. I mean, that car was on a rail. Outside of a challenge early by Justin Fuller, nobody was close. You guys walk out of here with every single point possible. It's got to feel good to get the season kicked off that way.
Yeah, definitely. I got so close so many times last year. I couldn't close the deal for some reason, but as soon as Justin hit the wall, I mean, he was faster than me, but he got up in the wall, and he was pretty damaged after that, and then I saw that he was a lap down, so he was basically my biggest competition, and he got taken out pretty early, and I tried my best from that point on to just save my tires and try to hold the lead as much as I could and not give too much up, and luckily that worked out, and my teammate CJ got second.
For you guys, back under the championship here through the first race, and we get to look forward, still 15 down to go, but as well, you guys have kind of been getting back into the swing of things for the last couple of weeks. It's something that we noted earlier on in tonight's coverage, that you guys actually had a couple of practice races, kind of preseason, if you will, every Thursday night, kind of getting you guys in the swing of things. Did you guys race at any of those? And if so, did that kind of help you guys kick some of the rust off and get ready for these short tracks once again?
Actually, I didn't race in any of them. Up until tonight, I've been busy on Thursday nights, so unfortunately I wasn't able to, but I ran a few laps here in just testing, and I got a pretty good feel for the car, and I ran another race here with the trucks, and it kind of helped me figure out the line a little bit, so that was pretty much all the practicing I did.
So you got a check mark at the fact that you got a race win. Doesn't guarantee you a spot in the championship. You guys are going to have to continue to fight. But if we do get down to that point, and this 25 team is in the position that you would like in one of those 12 spots in the championship, you do get one bonus point for the win. Doesn't sound like a lot, and you could argue both ways. However, we've seen 2 years in a row, this championship, I think, come down to single digits at the end. So that could be big going on. However, before we kind of get ahead of ourselves, that's still a year away. When you look at that, doesn't start till the 2017 side of the calendar. We move right on into the next race, the Lucas Oil Raceway, coming up in 1 week's time for the Kingsport Tire and Auto Center 100. Is that another racetrack that you guys feel like you can do good at?
I'm not really sure. I don't remember really how that track drives, but yeah, I mean, actually, I'm a firm believer. Like, that 1 point could mean something. I did a 36 race season a couple years ago, and it came down to 1 point after all those races. So this win definitely, like last year, I was trying all season to get a win, and to get it done in the first race, I mean, it takes the pressure off my shoulders, and hopefully I can get some more bonus points.
That was definitely a strong run for you, and if you guys are able to kind of keep that speed up, as like you said, that we've seen you have in the past, but most importantly, be able to close these things out, it could be a very fun campaign for you guys, Stafford. Before we let you go, the sponsors and shout-outs, who makes it possible and got you here to your first career win in this series?
Mach 1 Racing Graphics. You can check out our Facebook page, and my sponsor tonight, The Flash. It's an awesome show. And my teammate CJ, and then also you guys for broadcasting, and the league.
Stefan, thanks for chatting with us. Congratulations. I am still surprised that that's your first win, seeing how good you guys have been over the course of a long time. But congratulations for you guys finally knocking that out. Hopefully it's the first of many, and we'll chat soon.
Thanks, Evan.
Your winner tonight from the Iowa Speedway. This one belongs to Stafford Baranak. CJ LeVere comes home second. Brandon Otto come home in the number 3rd position tonight. And trackside with both the 2 and the 24 is Austin Coop first with CJ LeVere.
Yeah, I'm here with CJ LeVere in the Aaron's Dream Machine Chevrolet Impala. CJ, you had a really good car tonight, and really you're in the top 3 most of the end of the race. Tell us how your race went.
It was a pretty good race for me. I mean, very clean. Haven't been running them since last year, so I dusted off the wheel today and came in, started practice here, and first laps I turned all season and worked out pretty good. I mean, I really got to thank my teammate Stefan. He showed me a few things and took right off.
Yeah, if you're going to learn from anyone, the race winner is the one to do it, and not too far behind him. You were obviously running really similar to him, and I think that shows from it. You were running really well throughout the whole race, like you said, and you did have one of the cleanest cars there. Tell us about your battle with Brandon Otto at the end. That was a fantastic battle, and you held him off at the end, but he had a charging car with 2 extra tires.
I knew he was coming. I was worried he was going to get me there, and my main goal was get my teammate there to win, and that was already done, so I kind of just waited for him to get there, and he caught me at the end, and I gave him enough room, but I didn't give him all the room he needed, and it just worked out. He was a pretty good guy. They run me clean, and we ended up beating him to the line.
Now, I know this is a little early, but thinking about the chase going ahead, this is a pretty good start for you and your team, finishing 1-2. How does that feel that you've already got a big advantage over a lot of your competition?
There's a lot of strong drivers in here, you know. Anything can happen. We could get caught up in a wreck after a bad pit cycle and get in the back of the pack. You know, you never know, so you take one race at a time, and we'll see what happens.
That is definitely the truth. Thinking about next week, though, it is Lucas Oil. You said it's been a while since you've been behind the wheel. How was Lucas Oil for you, and how do you think you're going to be doing next week?
Well, you know, the only way you improve from second is first, so I think we're going to have to sit down and run a lot of practice laps this week if we're going to beat Stefan next week. You know, and you can't count out Justin Fuller there. He got caught up in a little bit. He'll be strong next week too.
Well, that is your second place finisher, CJ LeVere. Thank you for having a chat with us, and congratulations on your second place finish.
Thank you very much. I just got to thank my teammate and MP Roy for sponsoring this, Al at Upstate here, LSRTV, all you guys for putting on this great show and having it for us. I really appreciate everybody's hard work.
That is your second place in the number 2 car. CJ Levere finishing silver. I'm making my way down pit road as I'm going to run into Brandon Oda right here in the number 24 car. Had a really good, strong run at the end. It almost looked like his 2-tire strategy halfway through didn't quite make it out, but he was definitely the most interesting man towards the end of the race. Brandon, tell us how your strategy went and how it actually kind of unfolded for you towards the end.
Well, like you said, I didn't think that strategy halfway through the race was going to work. I just wanted to take a gamble. First race of the year, Iowa, it's a little bit of a gamble as itself. And then I figured I'd go ahead and take a gamble with 2 tires and, wanted to get out there and lead some laps. And I'm not going to lie, I did get a little nervous when some of those guys started to reel me in after that first stint. But again, it ended up paying off for me. I wish I had 10 more laps. That probably would have helped a little bit. I was coming for the front, but congrats to Stefan for holding me off, and CJ too. They had a great run as well, and just came up a little bit short.
And thinking about these tires on the late model, they're not used to going this fast and definitely not used to being as hot. Being on those tires after 50 laps and then, almost 75 laps on those tires, how did that feel being in that car? I mean, we saw you a little wiggly, but you kept it pretty tame out there compared to what we had seen out there.
Yeah, the right side tire strategy ended up actually making the car a little bit looser, and the car was pretty loose through the corners. I snagged the apron one time, and that got me a little sideways, but was able to save it. And it really helped on the outside of the track, though, trying to make passes on that outside line. The car being loose, it just really allowed the car to exit the corner and get a run on people. So I'm glad that we were able to run that high side. That's my favorite run or line to run out there. So.
Well, next week you go to a completely different track, Lucas Oil, where you can run. It's a very wide track, just like this one, but it's almost like a miniature Iowa, and it's a lot flatter. How have you prepared for this race, or how do you think next week's going to go for you, and what's your experience there?
Well, I personally love Lucas Oil. Last year, me and Fuller did a battle there and swapped the lead back and forth all over the place, and it's a great track. It's definitely a high side track, and we came up a little bit short that time too, so I'm looking for a little bit of redemption. I think we got something for him.
Well, you are the biggest mover I'm hearing through the little earpiece in my ear, so I think you do get the honors of that, so congratulations on that. You did get up 15 spots from 18th place today.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a terrible qualifying effort. I really screwed up in qualifying, and it just allowed me to have to work my way through the pack, and I definitely worked for it, for sure.
Well, an extra point does make you sort of in the same place as CJ Levere, getting second, but you did finish P3 after all of what happened today. Do you got anybody think for your team today?
Oh, absolutely. I gotta thank the iRacing Memes Facebook page. If you haven't gone over to like that, you probably should. I post a lot of funny stuff all the time. I gotta thank Pole Position Raceway Buffalo for allowing me a race tonight. I gotta thank Noel's Auto Rescue Team out of Amherst, New York. They're helping me out tonight in the sim and in real life racing with my micro. And gotta thank everybody watching. Ed Neal, Mike Tedonio, my girlfriend's watching, my dad's probably watching. Just everybody who came out and everybody who comes out and supports us. Gotta thank you guys up in the broadcast booth for putting on a show for everybody while we're putting on a show, and I gotta thank all the fans out there. Thank you.
That is your third place finisher, Brandon Oda. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
He does round out the top three. Some very pleasant, happy top three runners today. I'm not sure if we can say that for everybody out here, but had the ones that finished out front and the ones who got the podium spots. I'm going to take it back up to Evan back in the broadcasting booth, but definitely a happy bunch up here.
The guys that we talk to normally are the guys that are having a good night because, they finish inside of the top three. Not sure the same can be said for the couple of guys that finish in excess of 50 laps down, including a couple of big names back there. That's going to play out over the next 10 races, but at least the season opener, kind of those jitters of just getting back underway have now come and gone. We have our first winner on this 2016-2017 campaign, and it is Stefan Baranek taking tonight's Les Enterprises MP Roy Incorporated 100. You can find the rest of this championship right here on LSRTV at iRacing Live. We go next 1 week's time from now to the Lucas Oil Raceway. As previously noted, for the Kingsport Tire and Auto 100, you can find a full upcoming LSRTV broadcast schedule on our website at livesimracing.com. Also encourage you to stay up to date with us on social media and stay in the conversation. You can give us a follow on Twitter at LSRTV, or give us a like on Facebook at facebook.com/livesimracing.tv. Until next time, though, that does it here for Newton, Iowa. On behalf of the entire team behind the scenes at LSRTV LLC and for the crew tonight, for myself, Evan Pasoko, for Austin Coop, and for Cisco Scaramuzo, I want to thank you so much for tuning in and congratulate a first-time Upstate winner in Stefan Baranek for getting the 25 team on the board. Short track racing is back. We hope to see you in 1 week's time when we drop the green flag once again for the Lucas Oil Raceway. Until then, we bid you good night for the Iowa Speedway. We hope to see you on the rest of this 2016-2017 championship hunt right back here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented under the authority of LSRTV LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations and may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form, nor the accounts and descriptions of this event disseminated in any way without the express written permission of Live Sim Racing TV. LSRTV would like to thank its loyal fans for their continued support, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast.